has demonstrated a zeal for learning, an extraordinary ability to connect with others, and a commitment to helping make the world a better place. On her website, she states, "You get from the world what you give to the world." And throughout her career, she has sought to give to the world in remarkable and varied ways. Her generosity of spirit serves as a model to all of us. Please join me in warmly welcoming our commencement speaker, Oprah Winfrey.
And to the trustees and the faculty, to all of the parents and grandparents, to you, the Stanford graduates, thank you for letting me share this amazing day with you. Every time anybody's asked me in the past couple of weeks what I was doing, I'd say, I'm getting ready to go to Stanford. I just love saying Stanford. Because the truth is, I know I would have never gotten my degree at all because I didn't go to Stanford. I went to Tennessee State University, but I never would have gotten my diploma at all because I was supposed to graduate back in 1975. But I was short one credit. And I figured I'm going to just forget it because, I'm not going to march with my class. Because by that point, I was already on television. I'd been in television since I was 19 and a sophomore. Granted, I was the only television anchor person that had an 11 o'clock curfew doing the 10 o'clock news. Seriously, my dad was like, well, the news is over 10:30, be home by 11. But that didn't matter to me because I was earning a living. I was on my way, so I thought, I'm gonna let this college thing go, and I only had one credit. But my father, from that time on, and for years after, was always on my case because I did not graduate. He'd say, Oprah Gale, that's my middle name, I don't know what you're gonna do without that degree. And I'd say, but Dad, I have my own television show. And he'd say, well, I still don't know what you're gonna do without that degree. And I'd say, but Dad, now I'm a talk show host. He'd say, I don't know how you're gonna get another job without that degree. So in 1987, Tennessee State University invited me back to speak at their commencement. By then, I had my own show, was nationally syndicated, I'd made a movie, had been nominated for an Oscar, and founded my company, Harpo. But I told them, I cannot come and give a speech unless I can earn one more credit, because my dad's still saying, I'm not gonna get anywhere without that degree. So I finished my coursework, I turned in my final paper, and I got the degree. And my dad was very proud, and I know that if anything happens, that one credit will be my salvation. But I also know why my dad was insisting on that diploma, because as B.B. King put it, the beautiful thing about learning is that nobody can take that away from you. This Planet Earth school, the lessons often come dressed up as detours or roadblocks and sometimes as full-blown crises. And the secret I've learned to getting ahead is being open to the lessons. It's being able to walk through life eager and open to self-improvement and that which is going to best help you evolve, because that's really why we're here, to evolve as human beings. So today, I just want to share a few lessons, meaning 3, that I've learned in my journey so far. And aren't you glad? Don't you hate it when somebody says I'm going to share a few and it's 10 lessons later? And you're like, listen, this is my graduation. This is not about you. So it's only going to be 3. The 3 lessons that have had the greatest impact on my life have to do with feelings, with failure, and with finding happiness. A year after I left college, I was given the opportunity to co-anchor the 6 o'clock news in Baltimore, because the whole goal in the media at the time I was coming up was that you try to... What I know now is that feelings are really your GPS system for life. When you're supposed to do something or not supposed to do something, your emotional guidance system lets you know. The trick is to learn to check your ego at the door and start checking your gut instead. Every right decision I've made, every right decision I've ever made has come from my gut. And every wrong decision I've ever made was a result of me not listening to the greater voice of myself. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. That's the lesson. And that lesson alone will save you, my friends, a lot of grief. Even doubt means don't. This is what I've learned. There are many times when you don't know what to do. When you don't know what to do, get still. Get very still until you do know what to do. And when you do get still and let your internal motivation be the driver, not only will your personal life improve, but you will gain a competitive edge in the working world as well. Because as Daniel Pink writes in his bestseller, A Whole New Mind, he says we're entering a whole new age, and he calls it the conceptual age, where traits that set people apart today are going to come from our hearts, right brain, as well as our heads. If you really want to fly, just harness your power to your passion. Honor your calling. Everybody has one. Trust your heart, and success will come to you. So how do I define success? Lesson one, follow your feelings. If it feels right, move forward. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. Now I want to talk a little bit about failings, because nobody's journey is seamless or smooth. We all stumble, we all have setbacks. If things go wrong, you hit a dead end, as you will. It's just life's way of saying, time to change course. So ask every failure, this is what I do. Every failure, every crisis, every difficult time, I say, what is this here to teach me? And as soon as you get the lesson, you get to move on. If you really get the lesson, you pass and you don't have to repeat the class. If you don't get the lesson, it shows up wearing another pair of pants or skirt to give you some remedial work. And what I found is that difficulties come when you don't pay attention to life's whisper, because life always whispers to you first. And if you ignore the whisper, sooner or later you'll get a scream. Whatever you resist persists, but if you ask the right question, not why is this happening, but what is this here to teach me? What is this here to teach me? Which leads me to my final lesson, the one about finding happiness, which we could talk about all day, but I know you have other wacky things to do. Not a small topic this is, finding happiness. But in some ways, I think it's the simplest of all. Gwendolyn Brooks wrote a poem for her children. It's called Speech to the Young, Speech to the Progress Toward. And she says at the end, live not for battles won, live not for the end of the song, live in the along. She's saying, like Eckhart Tolle, that you have to live for the present. You have to be in the moment. Whatever has happened to you in your past has no power over this present moment. This is what I know for sure. In order to be truly happy, you must live along with, and you have to stand for something larger than yourself. Because life is a reciprocal exchange. To move forward, you have to give back. And to me, that is the greatest lesson of life. To be happy, you have to give something back. I really wanted to give you cards.